Hey everybody, Timcast here. In the next few hours, we will be leaving for the airport because we are heading to Europe, as promised. And in keeping up with that promise, I wanted to make sure that we had a video every single day. This one is going to be a bit light. The plan is to produce like a travel vlog, where you will see us, going to the airport, meeting people, walking through these neighborhoods. But before we leave, I wanted to make sure I got a video finished that I could put up and explain to you where we are currently at in planning and the trip. I've already done a few interviews about the trip, which has been kind of surreal. And there's a few things I wanted to explain. First, I was already planning this trip before Paul Joseph Watson made his tweet about funding a journalist to go and stay in Malmo. In fact, Momes and I, my associate producer, were hanging out, eating breakfast, and we said, let's go to these places that Trump has said are dangerous, and just experience it and see what it's all about, and if that's really the case. When we get back to my apartment, we noticed that Paul had put up this tweet, so I tweeted him like, "Hey, I'm game. Let's do this." And Paul followed through. He asked me what I thought, and I said I was in Malmo a few months ago, and I found it to be quite boring. Right? No offense to Malmo. We just walked around and ate ice cream, so nothing too exciting. But I will say I wasn't there on a journalistic trip. I was just there as a tourist. And, that's why it was interesting to me to go back. Now, there's a few things that I want to say. First, I have had a few journalists tell me not to go, which is strange, in my opinion. I've had a few journalists accuse me of conspiring with InfoWars on this trip, which is also insane. I don't know anybody at InfoWars. I've never spoken to Paul before. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. I think we may be familiar with each other's work, but I've never talked to the guy before. He's one of 250 plus donors who have contributed, and so far he's only contributed slightly less than 20% of what we raised. He is the single largest contributor, but I think he put out that call saying if a journalist wants to go to Malmo, he'd cover it, and he did. So the other thing is I've had a few journalists hit me up telling me to give the money away, which to me is absolutely ridiculous. First of all, if you raise money for one purpose and then use it for another purpose, that is fraud. It is a felony. No, you're not going to convince me to go commit a crime. If people are funding me to go do journalism, that's exactly what I'm going to go do. The next thing that I find frustrating is that there are a lot of left-leaning activists telling me that I'm feeding into some fake news propaganda. Some people are saying that I'm following a lead based off of fake news from Trump. And this is just strange to me. The stories about Sweden have been around for a really long time. In fact, the New York Times had a report about sexual assault investigations from the music festival. Mumford & Sons said they wouldn't be going. And that was in 2014. So what Trump is referencing it's certainly not new. And, a day or so after Trump made the statement, there were riots in Rinkeby in Stockholm, or just outside of Stockholm. It's strange to me that there are many left-leaning activists telling me not to go, because if they truly believe this crime is not happening, then me going would just vindicate them. It would prove them right, which is a good thing, right? I find the whole thing strange and frustrating, but I will also add, I don't want to make it seem like every single, left-leaning person or independent is telling me not to do it. In fact, there are many, many left-leaning activists who follow me, who are telling me, this will be fantastic, and they're very grateful for my coverage, because they understand that journalism will only help shine a light on what's going on. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. I've made contact with several journalists. I've made contact with several residents, and even a deputy mayor apparently has agreed to meet with us and do an interview. So I think we've got a really good shot at getting like a balanced approach to this. A lot of people have said that Paul Joseph Watson funding me has tainted my credibility. These same people congratulated me when Michael Moore gave me money for my coverage, right? I am nonpartisan. I don't like being considered left or right, but people on the right call me liberal, people on the left call me conservative. I don't like either. But what I will say is that I don't discriminate. If Michael Moore wants to give me money for my independent coverage, of course, I'm not going to tell him he can't do that. If Paul Joseph Watson wants to give me money for my independent coverage, absolutely. I'm not going to tell him he's not allowed to do that. I will not deny someone donating for me to do what I want to do simply because they have a political belief. I don't believe that's fair. And in fact, if I turn down this money, it would be akin to signing my allegiance to one group or the other. Anyone who wants to donate is allowed to, okay? Paul is not giving me money in exchange for anything. He gave me money, I'm gonna go do my thing, and you know what? He knows I might prove him wrong. There's nothing you can do about it. But at the same time, I don't know what we'll find, and he very well may be proven right, who knows? We're gonna meet with as many people as possible. A lot of times putting together a documentary and interviews, it takes a really long time, months. And we're trying to cram all this into a few weeks, so I don't have any real guarantees other than we will be there, we will talk to people, we will travel to these neighborhoods, and we will do interviews. And I'm aiming to have a video every single day, okay? So with that, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter @Timcast, like and share. Let me know what you think, comment below. Again, I really don't know what to expect, right? But this trip is gonna be fun, it's gonna be informative, and I think everyone will be able to agree that we did a good job, right? Hopefully. So with that, I will say thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned. We're about to leave for the airport. I'll see you all next time.